The snow fell like broken promises over Central Park that December evening, each flake a reminder of everything Marcus Donovan had lost. He sat alone on a frost-covered bench, his expensive wool coat doing nothing to warm the ice that had settled in his chest. His phone buzzed incessantly in his pocket. Board members, lawyers, journalists, all wanting a piece of him after the scandal that had demolished his reputation in a single afternoon. The CEO, who had everything now, had nothing but the bitter taste of betrayal and the crushing weight of public humiliation. His business partner had embezzled millions, pinning the blame squarely on Marcus's shoulders, and despite his innocence, the court of public opinion had already delivered its verdict. As he stared at the twinkling Christmas tree before him, Marcus wondered if redemption was even possible anymore, or if he was destined to carry this darkness forever. If you believe in second chances, in unexpected moments of grace that can change everything, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel. Your support means the world to us. Marcus didn't notice the small figure approaching until a tiny mitten-covered hand tugged at his coat sleeve. He looked down to find a little boy, no more than 5 years old, with rosy cheeks and eyes that sparkled with innocent curiosity beneath a gray knit hat with a pom-pom that bounced as he moved. The child held a worn cardboard box close to his chest, and despite the cold, wore a bright green puffer jacket that seemed to radiate warmth. The boy didn't say anything at first, just studied Marcus's face with the kind of penetrating wisdom that only children possess, seeing straight through the expensive clothes and polished exterior to the broken man underneath. Then, without invitation or hesitation, the child climbed onto the bench beside him, his small legs swinging several inches above the snow-covered ground. Marcus glanced around for a parent, slightly panicked, but saw only a young woman in a burgundy coat standing several feet away, watching with a gentle smile that seemed to give her blessing to whatever was unfolding. The boy opened his cardboard box carefully, as if it contained the crown jewels, and pulled out a slightly crushed peanut butter sandwich wrapped in wax paper. He broke it in half with his small hands and extended one piece toward Marcus with such earnest generosity that it made the hardened businessman's throat tighten unexpectedly. Marcus shook his head, but the boy insisted, pushing the sandwich closer until Marcus had no choice but to accept it. They sat in silence for a moment, the child munching contentedly while Marcus held his half, unable to remember the last time someone had offered him something without wanting anything in return. Then the boy spoke, his voice high and clear in the stillness of the snowy evening, cutting through years of Marcus's carefully constructed emotional armor with 7 simple words that would change everything. He said, looking up at Marcus with those impossibly clear eyes, "My mom hugs me when I'm sad. She can hug you too." The child pointed toward the woman in the burgundy coat, who had moved closer now, her expression a mixture of embarrassment and maternal pride at her son's compassionate boldness. Something cracked inside Marcus's chest, a fissure in the ice that had been building there for months, maybe years, long before the scandal had erupted. When was the last time someone had simply offered him comfort without judgment, without agenda, without expecting him to be strong or perfect or unbreakable? The tears came before he could stop them, silent at first, then harder, his shoulders shaking as weeks of suppressed emotion finally found release. The little boy didn't seem alarmed by the crying. Instead, he scooted closer and patted Marcus's arm with his small hand, the gesture so pure and uncomplicated that it made Marcus cry even harder. The woman approached then, and Marcus expected judgment or discomfort, but instead she sat down on his other side, creating a buffer of unexpected human warmth on that frozen bench. She introduced herself as Caroline Mitchell, and her son as Oliver, and she didn't ask questions or demand explanations. She simply sat there, occasionally rubbing Marcus's shoulder the way she probably comforted Oliver after a nightmare, treating this powerful stranger with the same gentle care she showed her child. Oliver continued eating his sandwich, perfectly content with the silence, occasionally looking up at Marcus to make sure he was okay. They sat like that for nearly an hour as the snow continued to fall and the Christmas lights twinkled their endless optimism into the darkness. Marcus found himself talking, words pouring out that he hadn't spoken to anyone, about the betrayal, the loneliness, the crushing pressure of always having to be perfect, the fear that he'd never recover from this. Caroline listened without offering platitudes or empty reassurances, just nodding and occasionally squeezing his shoulder. Oliver, having finished his sandwich, eventually curled up against Marcus's side like a warm, trusting puppy, completely unconcerned about stranger danger or social conventions. When Marcus finally stood to leave, exchanging phone numbers with Caroline, who insisted he join them for Christmas dinner the following week, he felt lighter than he had in months. Oliver gave him a sticky hug goodbye, leaving peanut butter fingerprints on Marcus's $1,000 coat that the CEO would never have dry cleaned away. As Marcus walked toward the park exit, he turned back to see them standing beneath the Christmas tree, waving enthusiastically, and he realized something profound. The scandal hadn't destroyed him. The betrayal hadn't defined him. But this moment, this unexpected encounter with a generous child and his compassionate mother, might just save him. If this story touched your heart, if you believe in the power of small acts of kindness to change lives, please hit that like button. Leave a comment telling us about a time someone showed you unexpected compassion, and share this story with others who might need to hear it today. Over the following months, as Marcus fought to clear his name and rebuild his reputation, he would think of Oliver and that split sandwich often. The case eventually turned in his favor when new evidence emerged, but the real victory had happened that snowy December evening when a 5-year-old boy had reminded him that humanity still existed, that kindness still mattered, and that sometimes the biggest hearts come in the smallest packages. Please comment below and tell us, what would you have done in Marcus's position? The expensive coat with the peanut butter stains hung in Marcus's office as a permanent reminder that the most valuable things in life can't be bought, only received with gratitude and an open heart. The snow fell like broken promises over Central Park that December evening, each flake a reminder of everything Marcus Donovan had lost. He sat alone on a frost-covered bench, his expensive wool coat doing nothing to warm the ice that had settled in his chest. His phone buzzed incessantly in his pocket, board members, lawyers, journalists, all wanting a piece of him after the scandal that had demolished his reputation in a single afternoon. The CEO, who had everything now, had nothing but the bitter taste of betrayal and the crushing weight of public humiliation. His business partner had embezzled millions, pinning the blame squarely on Marcus's shoulders, and despite his innocence, the court of public opinion had already delivered its verdict. As he stared at the twinkling Christmas tree before him, Marcus wondered if redemption was even possible anymore, or if he was destined to carry this darkness forever. If you believe in second